welcome to the Citizen channel. We're going to look back at a game that won't last long in the memory, guys. Will it? Please, if you like what we do today, give us a little thumbs up and press that notification. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Yes, Brentford 0, Manchester City 1 at the Brentford Community Stadium, 8:15 p.m. kickoff on the 29th of December 2021. Yes, we'll file this away as 3 points, and we won't say too much about it. We will say something about it, because I'm going to say something about it now, but it's not one we want to hark on about too much, is it? It won't go down in history as one of our greatest performances, that's for sure. Right, the City lineup, yes, pretty pathetic by me, guys. I only got 6 right last night, which, there you go. It is what it is. I got more Brentford right, but not that great on that one, actually. Anyway, the lineup: Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, Ake, Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Foden, Jesus and Grealish. Yeah, surprises. I don't know, really, surprises. Not really, because, when we know what sort of squad we've got. I was a bit surprised neither Mahrez or Sterling started, especially when you think Mahrez is buggering off quite soon. So I would be playing him till he drops, to be honest with you. But hey, there you go. That's why Pep gets paid the big bucks, isn't it? On the subs bench, Stefan Carson, Sterling, Gundogan. Yeah, I thought I might have seen Gundogan, actually. Zinchenko, I thought Zinchenko would start. Mahrez, Mbete and Palmer. Yeah, a lot of consternation about, obviously, Ake starting, but obviously we'll have a chat about that in a bit. Brentford, I got 7 right of Brentford's. Apparently they've got 11 absentees, though, so obviously it's no surprise I didn't do very well, is it? 11 absentees through injury, suspension and COVID. I don't know whether they're key players. I assume some of them are. They've got to be key players. I know the long throw specialist was missing, which was good news for us, certainly in that first half, where he might have done some damage when they were on the, they sort of played well. I think they faded out a little bit in the second half, but again, we'll mention that later. Fernandes, Pinnock, Janssen, Beck, Roerslev, Jensen, Baptiste, Onyeka, Thompson, Tony, Wissa. Yeah, Tony. Bit dirty, possibly. Who was in charge? Well, it was Mr. David Coote, who obviously has got a new whistle for Christmas because he kept using it that much. I thought he must have been just checking out his new gift. He was very whistle happy, to say the least. On VAR, he was kept reasonably busy, wasn't he? Yeah, I think he almost did it all right. I think there was one that was a bit dubious, let's say. But Jared Gilley was obviously on VAR. Right, the match report, I wrote this out. I was in work early this morning, so I did this very quickly last night before I got my 3 hours kip last night after the game. No fizz from City in that first half, with 1 or 2 City players looking a little bit rusty. They did, understandable perhaps from the likes of Foden and Grealish, but Foden's rustiness didn't last very long, did it? Unfortunately, Grealish's did. Free kick after free kick was awarded to Brentford, some legitimately, but some, I'm sorry, very, very borderline that Brentford should have gotten. And as I said, the referee, obviously Mr. Coote, decided to keep blowing his whistle and more or less give Brentford probably about 75-80% of the things, but there you go. All the stuff came down the left, lots of free kicks from the left-hand side. I mean, there's no real flow to the game. Too many whistle blows in quite a niggly half as well, with fouls and stuff like that. Ferner was getting involved, which is nice to see as long as he gets away with it. On 15 minutes, Brentford came probably the closest for them in the whole game, when a deflected Diaz block was, of course, turned over for a corner. But soon the ball, by Ederson, that was a good save, but soon the ball was bouncing across the goal after a corner. And I think Wissa was left on his own. And obviously the ball came across the Brentford player, couldn't quite, too high for the Brentford player in the middle of the goal. He couldn't get to it, but obviously Cancelo fortunately was on the left-hand post to head it away. So that was a great chance for Brentford. But it didn't take long. Within a minute, about 56, 57 seconds, we shot up the other end. I think Cancelo was involved again. We'll talk about him after as well. Say this was quite good from him, but it didn't last, unfortunately. Within a minute, as Foden's side footed a superb KDB ball, isn't it? I mean, obviously VAR check, very tight, but he was just a toe on side. I think it got it just about right, VAR. So we were 1-0 up. Great stuff. Yeah, let's go on from there. Probably not. No, this didn't stimulate City. I said it certainly didn't stimulate us watching, did it? We continue to play unconvincingly, and Brentford always looked capable because we get getting numerous free kicks from the referee, etc. Again, some legitimate, some perhaps not. City, I wrote this for half-time, City have to improve second half, pretty poor. I did imagine the lethargy of City wouldn't be the same in the second half. It wasn't quite, was it? But it wasn't exactly a chalk and cheese, let's be honest about it. And I thought Brentford could be happy with that first half performance. So it was 1-0 for City. Okay, City were better in that second half. We started better. Not great. We struggled a little bit. 1-0 had to be good enough, of course, despite Foden and Laporte both getting the ball in the net. I mean, obviously Laporte was a smidgen, wasn't it? I mean, if looking at it in the camera, yeah, probably just offside, but I'm not sure what part of his body was offside, but a great shame because it was a fantastic header from Laporte. And Foden had the ball in the net again, but I think he was a good couple of feet offside, wasn't he? KDB at a post, never really looked as though it was going to go in. And Jesus brought an okay save late on after some good work in the box, beating players, but it wasn't exactly all guns blazing, was it? And I think Brentford struggled. I think off the bench, I mean, it was ideal for Brentford. Keep it to 1-0 if 10 or 15 minutes left, but I don't think they had anything left to give in that 10 or 15 minutes. I don't think they really troubled us, to be honest with you. I don't remember them troubling us that much in the second half. They did have a couple of free kicks again, but Mr. Coote went a bit quieter, but obviously Brentford went a bit quieter as well, and we perhaps got a fairer share of the free kicks in the second half. But I think they're running out of steam. With 11 absentees, they're not going to have big key players to come off the bench and make a difference. So I think that last 10 or 15 minutes, I think City were quite comfortable, to be honest with you, only because Brentford couldn't really change it up and were already tired from having a sort of half team to begin with 11 absentees, of course. So a little bit lucky for City that was the case, and we could sort of run along in second gear and carry on and just win the game 1-0. It could have been 2 or 3. I'll say if those offsides had counted and the post had gone in, but I don't think we can complain. We weren't great. Brentford tried hard, but obviously, as I said, they just didn't have enough really to actually get anything out of this game. Shots, 6 for Brentford with 2 on target. That was, I think, mainly first half. City 12 shots, again, very low 12. I mean, Brentford, putting loads of men behind the ball, but 12 shots and 3 on target, quite pretty pathetic from City. Possession 77% for City, 23% for Brentford. Pass completion for City 88%. That's quite low for City. It's all I like to see 89, 90, 91, 92. 88 is bad, but Brentford was 62%. I thought the passing was awful, but again under a little bit of pressure. I wouldn't say we were all over the place. Certainly Phil Foden was. I don't think Phil Foden stopped trying to close players down, but not so much the rest of them. Right, on to the ratings. We've got Mr. Simon Bukowski today, so Stuart Brennan's having a rest. I'm going to give my starting score. I was going to start at 6, and I thought, no, it was all right. It wasn't a brilliant performance, but it was an efficient performance once we got through that first half, which was a bit iffy. So I'm starting at 6.5. I was going to start at 6, but I'll start at 6.5. Simon Bukowski, I have no idea where he started. So if the player was better, he'll get more than 6.5. If he was okay, bang average, you'll get 6.5. If he was pretty dire or worse than that, he'll get lower than 6.5. And there are 1 or 2 players who do get that today, or a couple of surprises certainly between me and Simon. I do tend to differ from Simon more often than Stuart, I think. Right, Edison. Simon said a very good save from Diaz. It was. A good save. I won't say it was fantastic. Just reacted very well as Diaz's header sort of deflected, didn't it, towards goal. Didn't have a lot to do otherwise as City's line protected him. Yes, I was giving him a 7. Actually, I gave him a 7 because I thought that was a good save, and I thought he was big and bold in his area as well. I thought he came for things. Didn't always get him, but at least he was willing to come, and we needed that with sort of long throws and corners and free kicks and stuff like that. So I thought it was okay. So I'll give him a 7. Cancelo. This is where we differ vastly. Simon said, was in the right place at the right time to nudge the ball away from the goal line. He was, and then raced up to the right wing to help City take the lead inside a minute. He did. So Simon's given him a 7. I'm sorry, I've given him 5.5. I thought it was absolutely awful. I lost count. I have ticks and crosses on a sheet of paper, and I just got fed up of putting crosses. The amount of times he gave the ball away, just didn't seem to know where to put the ball. Whether this longer grass had an effect, I'm not too sure. I know they were making a comment about that, weren't in commentary, but I thought Cancelo was one of his worst games I've seen him play yesterday. Apart from, as I say, all right, he was there at the back post to nod it away when it could have been dangerous. But I'm sorry, I thought he was pretty awful. Let me know what you think, guys. I just thought he had a terrible game. Diaz, Simon said, unsettled early on by the pace of Brentford's attack. Yeah, I had a couple of ticks early on for Diaz, so I wouldn't particularly agree. Made a number of uncharacteristic errors as well as struggling to get the better of Tony, or Toney, said Diaz. Yeah, but it was a bit it was borderline whether it was legal or not sometimes, wasn't it? Improved in the second half, well, most of the City players did because Brentford tired, I think. So Simon's giving me 7. A 6, sorry. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I thought it was okay. He did a lot of shouting. I saw him geeing up the players. So I will give him a 6.5. Yeah, not his greatest performance. Laporte, a much steadier performance, said Simon. Then he managed against Leicester, keeping Wissa quiet and very good in the air. Yeah, I thought Laporte was okay last night. He's given him a 7. I would agree with that. I give him a 7 as well. And very unlucky to have that goal struck off. And I thought he looked okay. At the partnership yesterday, I thought Laporte looked the most senior between him and Diaz last night, to be honest with you. Ake, yeah, here we go. Simon said, Zinchenko didn't disappoint, happily coming forward with the ball into the Brentford half and linking up with Foden and Bernardo. Yeah, so Simon's given him a 7. I'd give him an 8. I thought he was excellent. Not a lot of City fans were doubting him. I thought Laporte might play left back, and obviously Ake in the middle with Diaz, but obviously he did play left back, and I thought he had an excellent game. I thought he did a very, very good job considering he doesn't play that much. So I've given him an 8. I thought Ake was exceptional. In fact, there's only one, well, perhaps one player definitely better than him. I think this next guy we're going to talk about is probably equal to Ake. But yeah, I thought he had an outstanding game. Well done, Nathan Ake. I'll always bang the drum for him. I think he's underestimated by a lot of City fans. Fernandinho, a terrific performance, said Simon, leading the team, set the level of discipline for the rest, was alert to Brentford's main threats and also showed the creative side of his game and also that little dark side he's got, which was nice, wasn't it? Simon's given an 8. Yeah, I'd agree with that. As I said, he's a guy I link with Ake as having a really good game, and I've scored him 8 as well, similar to Ake. Much better from Ferner. He enjoyed that, and he sort of did his dark arts without getting booked, etc. Too quickly. Obviously, we like to see that. He was always involved going forward. Yeah, so when we had, he was always alert for the creators, as Simon said, the creative side. So I give him an 8, and Simon give him an 8. Totally agree. Bernardo dropped back to help Fernandinho out, so was less involved towards the opposition box. Yeah, full of running, but industry prioritised over spark, which says Simon. That's what Pep does with him sometimes. A little ball carrier, isn't he? And say that sort of keeps him away from the sharp end, doesn't it, where he can create something for a goal or score a goal himself. So Simon's given him a 6. I've given him 6.5. I'm going to give him the average. I can't give less than that, but as I said, he was fairly quiet, but he just did what Pep asked him to do last night, I think. KDB, Simon said, arguably Bernardo didn't need to produce more creatively, with De Bruyne giving another excellent display. Well, yeah, I think KDB was playing far further up anyway. The assist was class and he regularly troubled the Brentford keeper. Yeah, he could have had a couple of assists if they'd gone better. Simon's given him a 7. Yeah, I'll go with that. Again, he was up for it. That's all I can say. Not everything worked. Sometimes he lost the ball in not dangerous positions, but it did set up Brentford to sort of escape from pressure. So, yeah, but I'll give him a 7 because it was a great assist, and he did 2 or 3 of those. And perhaps on another day, a striker or one of our midfielders might have done better with it. Jesus, yes, Simon said he carved open some promising openings from the right wing, although was guilty of wasting some promising positions. His touch let him down a few times. It did, where Mahrez perhaps would have fried. Probably. Yeah, so he's given him a 7. I mean, I like Jesus. You know me, I'll stick up for Jesus, but I've only given him a 6. I thought from that great little shimmy at the end where he tested the keeper almost at 90 minutes. I thought it was very disappointing. I said his touch was awful, and he sometimes, even if he doesn't play well, he's a bit of a pain. But he sort of went missing. Not particularly his fault. He wasn't, obviously the ball wasn't getting anywhere to get him involved, but he didn't come looking for it either. So, yeah, not the greatest for Jesus last night. Foden, the match winner, said Simon, what a terrific finish it was. It was so cool. He also led the line well and switched effortlessly between positions. Yeah, so Simon's given him an 8. I'm going to give him my highest score of the day, guys. I thought he never stopped. Reminded me a little bit of Bernardo when he's playing a more forward position. He's sort of always buzzing about, and Foden was very rarely lost the ball that I noticed. Obviously worked hard trying to get back on Pep's good side, of course. He's got work to do there. And a great goal, and he almost had a second as well. I thought he was our best player on the night. So obviously we'll talk man of the match in a minute. But yeah, he was, for me, just picked Ake and Fernandinho for that best City player on the night. Grealish, yeah, we'll finish with Grealish, of course, because there was no subs, was there? No subs. Again, you could tell it wasn't going very well. Pep didn't play any subs. Yeah, back in the team, says Simon, but maybe not for long. He couldn't get any space playing as number 9, no. He's not used to that yet, is he? And then struggled to make an impact when he switched to the left in the second half. He did. Yeah, he was pretty awful. Yeah, I mean, he was up there with Cancelo as being pretty awful for me, or down there with Cancelo being a little bit awful for me. Simon, give him a 5. Yeah, I'm only going to give him a 5 as well. He won a handful of free kicks, don't get me wrong, in and around the centre spot. He wasn't anywhere in a dangerous position winning the free kick, so we could have a good, shot at goal or anything like that. But he never really got going. He was struggled. Again, I'm sure he tried. It just never really happened for him, unfortunately. So, yeah, I want to give him 5. So, there you go. Pep, yeah, just a quick word on Pep. I just made a little note here. Very frustrated, wasn't he? He was rubbing his eyes. His hair like, lack of hair. It wasn't really working for this. We knew that as fans. I think we were frustrated. I think the fans in the ground were frustrated. There was certain a stage in that second half where the Brentford fans probably outsung them for a few minutes, which wasn't often because we got back and they got back and outsung them. But and I don't blame them. I would have been the same because I was frustrated just watching at home. So I'm sure the fans would have been, and certainly Pep was. So interesting histrionics from Pep. He didn't like that performance last night. Whatever, that team perhaps should have done a little bit better. But there you go. So my man of the match, Foden. No doubt about it. It has to be Foden last night, guys. I'm sorry. Some people said Ake. Yeah, very close, but I think Foden edges it from Ake and Fernandinho in my eyes. Overall record, yeah, not many games played in the league against Brentford away, but we've evened it up, guys. Yeah, we've played 5 now. We've won 2 and lost 2 and drawn 1. So we've evened it up, but we do have the goals advantage. We lead 8-6 on goals. So that's nice to see. I like the overall records when we sort of even. I don't like it when they're against us, but they still are for a few clubs, of course, at their place. So there you go. That's just their home games. Played 5, won 2, drawn 1, lost 2, 8 scores, 6 against. Brentford going forward, yeah. I think, I mean, they've got problems at the moment, only because they haven't got the guys there. There was a lack of guile and quality up front last night. But they did play very, very well the first half, and they're just tired. They had no one to come off the bench to trouble City that second half. City were fairly comfortable in that second half. They couldn't do what they wanted to do, and sort of all hell let loose for the 10 or 15 minutes at the end because he just didn't have the strength to do it, or the players on the bench to come on and do it, to add that little fizz, if you like. So they ran out of steam. But if they start getting these players back, they're well organised. They were very well organised. I mean, some would say they were slightly unlucky last night. I say we were out of sorts. I think City just about deserved to win it. But yeah, of course we were out of sorts. But yeah, I mean, the work rate and everything, no qualms with that. I like the manager. I like the animated Franks, is it? I like the manager. He's animated. I like that. So I think they'll do okay. I think that obviously where they are now, I think they'll finish in a very similar position. I think they'll finish anywhere between like 12th and 15th. I don't see them getting dragged into the relegation thing. But certainly not. They may do if they don't get some of these players back. But if they can get some of these players back over the next 2 or 3 weeks, then I think they'll certainly win some home games with because the crowd were okay. The crowd were okay. A bit overrated by the commentators as they always are. But so. Yeah, I think they'll be all right. I'm going between 12 and 15. City going forward, yeah, well, we've got Arsenal up, haven't we, guys? So I'll look at that in the preview. Obviously, Sterling and Mahrez were on the bench, so I would think that Sterling and Mahrez will come back in for this. Perhaps Gundogan will make an appearance. But yeah, apart from that, there's not many players to make up, unless Walker's fit, unless Stones is fit again. I mean, obviously, I want those guys in this. Certainly want Walker in it. And you know me, I like Stones anyway, but obviously Pep prefers Laporte and Diaz, doesn't it? But, I want Cancelo back on that left. I think he's more effective. I think he's pretty rubbish playing his normal position on the right, or he certainly was last night. So I want him changed, and obviously I want Walker back at right back, please. So let's hopefully can sort him out. But no guarantee. It's only a couple of days away, isn't it? So there's no guarantees of that. But we'll have to be a lot better at the Emirates. It's going to be a tough game. But certain players, 2 or 3 of those players last night, if they do play, can't get much worse, can they? To be honest with you. So there you go. Anyway, but so join me for that preview show. That'll be very soon. I've got to rush these out in the next couple of days. I'm going down to Arsenal myself, so I need to get them done and dusted before obviously New Year's Eve. So hopefully they might both come out. The preview and the odd show might come out at the same time. So keep your eyes out for that, guys. That'll be wonderful for the Arsenal game. And the history one's already out there. So have a look at that one. Back to 1961. No, I wasn't there, but I was born. I'll have to admit I was born. But yeah, a 9-goal thriller in 1961 at Highbury. Okay, all right, didn't go our way, but it was a 9-goal thriller. But have a look at the History Boys show as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your player ratings, guys. Let me know your thoughts on, as I said, on people like Cancelo, your man of the match, etc., etc. As I say, I've seen another couple of people say Cancelo was absolute rubbish last night. So I know I'm not alone, but obviously Simon Bukowski didn't think he was that bad, but I thought he was pretty awful for most of it, to be honest. I think he was terrible, giving that ball away far too often. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel. I only ask for one thing, though. Just one small thing. I only ask you to stay safe, please. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.